You know how they say home is where the storm outside can't get you? Well, sometimes home is where the most subtle storms are brewed. The kind of storms you can't even yell about. You just have to smile, nod, and quietly find yourself a very, very sturdy umbrella. My story begins during one of the best times of my life. My wife was pregnant with our first child, a son. That feeling, I'm sure many of you know it, it's just magical. It's not just about waiting for a new person to arrive. It's the start of a whole new chapter you get to write together. And one of the very first lines of that chapter is picking out a name. We didn't take it lightly. For weeks, our living room looked like a small library, with baby name books scattered everywhere. We'd spend hours sitting together, saying names out loud, feeling the rhythm of them. Then one rainy afternoon, my wife pointed to one, and her eyes just lit up. I read it and I felt the same thing. It was strong yet warm. It was the perfect blend of family heritage and a fresh start. It was him. That moment felt almost sacred, like a silent vow. We decided to keep it a secret, our little secret, a special surprise for the world on the day he was born. Ah, the world. That was supposed to include my brother and my sister-in-law. But, as it turns out, my sister-in-law has her own methods for uncovering little secrets. A special talent she doesn't list on her resume but uses quite skillfully. My sister-in-law, my brother's wife, was also pregnant at the time. She was due about 3 months before us. One evening, I get a text from her. My phone lights up with a message that was just dripping with casual innocence. OMG! I heard you guys picked a name. ABC. Is such a great name. I love it. Congrats. Can't wait to meet him. I read the text once. Then a second time. My brain felt like a machine trying to reboot. I could practically feel the gears grinding to a halt. How? The question echoed in my head, over and over. I looked at my wife and she looked at me. Her face was a mirror of my own. Pure, unadulterated confusion. We hadn't told a soul. We had sworn to keep it secret. A parental gut feeling, even a preparental one, told me something was very wrong. I remembered a few times when we'd been at their house, and my sister-in-law seemed a little too interested in our things. But I'd always brushed it off as just being nosy. Now I wasn't so sure. So, I called my brother, trying to keep my voice casual, even a little playful. Hey, does your wife have superpowers or something? We haven't told anyone the baby's name, but she already knows. His response, I swear, will go down in my family's history of mind-bogglingly casual remarks. He laughed on the other end of the line. A hearty laugh like I just told a great joke. Oh, my wife? Yeah, she likes to browse through people's things sometimes. She probably saw it written down in a notebook or something. It's no biggie. No, biggie. I was silent for a moment. In that instant, I felt this profound disappointment in the brother I'd always looked up to. He didn't just normalize a massive invasion of privacy. He framed it as a quirky, almost endearing personality trait. I wondered if he even recognized that the line between curious and snooping had been completely erased. I just managed to smile into the phone. A smile he couldn't see was strained, and said, "Oh, I see." Inside, a quiet rage began to bubble. A very polite, very calm rage. And then the day came. My nephew was born. The whole family was thrilled. My sister-in-law posted a long announcement on social media with a picture of an adorable little baby. My wife and I jumped in the comments to congratulate them. And then we scrolled down to read the name. The whole thing. Every single letter. The exact name from the notebook my wife kept tucked away in her desk drawer. I wasn't angry. Not really. The feeling was more complicated than that. It was a kind of stunned, absurd disbelief. It's like you're walking down the street and someone runs up, snatches the sandwich you're eating right out of your hand, and then tells you they did it because they also like sandwiches. You don't know whether to scream or laugh at the sheer audacity. I just sat there, staring at the screen, a cold, hollow feeling spreading through my chest. Before I could even process it, my phone rang. It was my brother. His voice was rushed, like he was trying to put out a fire he had just started. Hey, listen to me. Just be quiet about this. Don't make a scene. My wife just gave birth. She's exhausted. She doesn't need the drama. I know you guys might not like it, but she really, really wanted this name. I took a deep breath, trying to summon a calmness I absolutely did not feel. So what's the reason, man? And this is where the story shifts from a sitcom to science fiction. He told me that since his name and my name were similar, like a matching set, my sister-in-law wanted to carry on the legacy. She wanted our sons to have the exact same name to create a spiritual connection, to be each other's namesakes. A spiritual connection? By stealing someone else's choice? It was a novel, if not completely insane, definition of bonding. That night, after I hung up, my wife and I sat in silence for a long time. The initial anger had faded, replaced by a deep exhaustion and a steely resolve. I looked at my wife, my strong, brilliant wife. She wasn't crying. Her eyes weren't filled with defeat. They were filled with calculation. Then she looked at me and smiled. A smile that said, "Okay, they want to play a game? We'll play. But we'll play by our rules." We didn't argue. We didn't make angry phone calls. Why? Because that would have been falling right into their trap. They would have painted us as petty and selfish, and my sister-in-law would get to play the fragile new mother card. No, we weren't going to give them that satisfaction. We chose silence. But silence doesn't mean surrender. Silence was our camouflage. Step 1. We would pick a brand new name for our son. A name that was even better, more meaningful, and most importantly, ours alone, untainted by someone else's selfishness. Step 2, and this was the masterstroke, we would pretend that nothing had changed. We would continue the charade until the final curtain call. Why? A small but crucial legal detail. In our state, changing a name on a birth certificate after the child is 6 months old is a massive, complicated hassle. We needed time. We needed to be absolutely sure that when we finally revealed our son's true name, my sister-in-law couldn't just have a change of heart and switch my nephew's name to fix her mistake, only to accidentally match our new name. No, we had to close every possible route to another coincidence. This was a chess match, not a shouting match, and we were going to play it slow and steady. And so our days of acting began. It was bizarre and, in a quiet way, kind of satisfying. At family gatherings, when people would ask, "So how's little ABC doing in there?" We'd smile and say, "Oh, he's doing great." I'd look at my nephew, little ABC, being passed around, and then I'd look at my wife's belly, where another little boy was growing with a secret identity. Every time, my wife and I would exchange a look only we understood, a look that held the entire silent chess game. For months later, our son was born, healthy and beautiful. On his birth certificate, we wrote the new name we had chosen. His real name. We had made our first move, and we continued to wait with the patience of a hunter. When my nephew turned 7 months old, we began Operation Reveal. No big fanfare, no dramatic announcement. We just started calling our son by his real name. First with my parents and my sisters. They heard the story and nodded. "That makes sense. Good for you." Then my in-laws and our close friends. Everyone was understanding and supportive. Of course, the news eventually made its way to my brother and sister-in-law. And this time, the phone rang with a lot more fury. "What the hell did you do?" My brother yelled into the phone. "Why would you pull a sneaky, asshole move like that? You really upset my wife. You know that? You took away her choice, her nice idea to connect the boys." I let him finish. I listened to all of it. Playing dirty, going behind our backs, gatekeeping a name. As he paused for breath, I just thought one thing: he wasn't mad that I hurt his wife. He was mad because their plan had failed, and now he had to deal with his wife's anger. His rage was just fear in disguise. When he was done, I replied calmly, my voice as mild as if I were discussing the weather. "Hey man, let me ask you one question. Your wife going through our private things, taking a name we cherished, and using it without a single word to us. What do you call that?" Silence on the other end. That silence said everything. I continued, "And have you thought about the practical side of this? 2 kids with the exact same name in the same schools, getting bank accounts, doctor's records. Can you even see the logistical nightmare you were setting your own kids up for? All for a nice idea? We didn't do this to get back at anyone. We did this for our son, so he could have his own identity. He stammered, then fell back on his old argument. Plenty of people have the same name. You guys are just trying to be special and gatekeep a name. At that point, I knew the conversation was over. Not because we were out of arguments, but because he had refused to listen to logic from the very beginning. So that's where my story ends. My sister-in-law is angry. My brother thinks I'm the bad guy. And my wife and I, we have a healthy, happy son with a wonderful name that is all his own. We faced an absurd situation with calm and a rational plan. We didn't start a war, we just made a different move on the board, a move they never saw coming. I don't feel like an asshole. I feel like a father who did what he had to do. But sometimes, in the quiet moments, I still wonder, was our method a little weird? Did the silence and the calculation make us the villains in this story? Or did we just play a bad hand with the skill of a grandmaster? What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. Thanks for listening to my slightly complicated family tale.